Well, how's it going today, farm fans? Today we're going to finally do a video that I wanted to do about a month ago, but I had some complications with it and I was not able to make it. So the video was on the reveal of the product that I bought. In the video where I showed you a picture and I said, put your guesses down below, tell me what you think the product is. So today we're going to address that product and why the video has taken so long for me to publish. So what the product is a set of tracks that are going to go on our SSV 75. So here is the set of tracks, and this was similar to the picture that I showed on the video. The fun / annoying thing about this is the second set of tracks that I have gotten in from this company. So before we get into that, we'll talk just for a minute about the product itself. So these tracks come from a company called Eel River Steel. This is just a magazine. This is how I found them. There's a picture of the tracks there, what they look like on the machine. That's what I paid for them, $1,050. And it was a couple extra bucks, but I got some different connectors here. This is just a regular connector, and this is a half link. It's a little bit shorter. Just depending on how your tires wear and how everything fits on your machine, you have a little option there, you know, to either tighten them or, no, that would be tightened, that would be a little bit of slack. And then they have these guys to help you put the tracks on. So here's kind of a picture of what that looks like. This is our instructions here. There's those pieces that I just showed you to kind of help bring those together. So I'm not getting paid anything by this company to do this, by the way. My channel is so tiny, nobody's going to pay me to do anything. But I just wanted to show you. I wanted to get a set of tracks for the machine, and a lot of the companies that I found tracks, they were definitely, you know, a lot different construction. Something, you know, you might call it a little heavier or whatever. But they were a lot more money. I mean, you saw what I paid for those, and the only other ones that I could find were well over $2,000, and you were most likely going to need spacers for the machine, which was another, I forget what they were, $100 a piece or something for the spacers to push the tires out. So hopefully with these, you're not supposed to need spacers if you have a minimum of 3 inches between the inside of the tire and the machine, anything that the machine might, or the track might rub on. And I have more than 3 inches, so I'm hoping these work out. I don't have to buy the spacers. That was another reason I liked them. So yeah, that's a little bit about why I bought them. You know, mainly just cost. We don't run them every single day. We might pull them out 3-4 times a season, you know, if we're working in steep conditions or muddy conditions. So I'm not worried about the way that they're constructed. If I was going to use them every single day, I might have bought something a little bit different, but I think they're going to work well for what I want to use them for. So let's talk a little bit about the complication we had here. So I will insert a picture here. Of the two sets of tracks next to each other. They're not open, but the original set of tracks, the way they come, you have to trim links off. He made them a little bit too big, and that way you're able to sort of adjust to your machine. So here is one of the links that was on the other set of tracks. I started making a whole video putting these things on. I spent half an hour making a video, and I'm not going to show any of it because it was all wrong. But anyway, during that video, I cut a link off because it was too much. So here is a link, a bar from the other set of tracks. And the way this would work, it would sit tight there on the tire. But do you see the huge gap we have going here? And there's some bolts down there. There's no way that this track would ever clear. It was built way too wide. So now you're going to ask yourself, well, he knew the machine that we were using. Why are the tracks too wide? So let me tell you a little bit about how these tracks are built. You don't just call up and say, hey, this is the machine I have, these are the tires that are on there, I'd like a set of tracks. He needs dimensions, so he basically custom builds these for each individual machine, which is nice in a way, but what happened to me was, I guess, a bit of a miscommunication. So what he said to me, or what I thought I heard, was measure the width of the tire and I will build the tracks to fit on the tire. Well, apparently what he said was measure the tread width of the tire. So I thought I heard what I heard, he thought he said what he said. So that's what happened here. What I did was I measured the full width of the tire. Here, let's step back here. I mean, you're not going to be able to see, but so I measured from the sidewall to the sidewall, and that was 13 inches. I thought that the little bars that come down on the side here, in the picture, they look like they're almost a 90-degree here. So to me, the width of the tire, you'd want to have the full width because this bar would come down here, and if this was too narrow, they wouldn't fit on. Well, come to find out, obviously there's an angle on that, and that helps the track to stay on and not poke the tire. Makes sense. But what you're supposed to do is measure the tread width of the tire, which is at the very, very top. So I don't remember him saying tread width. I thought he said width of the tire. Anyway, it was a miscommunication. So what ended up happening, I still actually have the other set of tracks. They're out under the carport, packaged up, ready to go back. I'm waiting for somebody to pick them up. But so what ended up happening, he said he'd make another set for me because it was going to be too hard to try and fix this set. I don't have a bender to rebend these, and the only other way that I see that you really could have done it would have been to cut on the top here, take out the extra couple inches, and then plate the whole thing to make it strong enough. And that would have been a lot of my time, and then they still wouldn't have been as good as they would have been from new. So he made another set. I didn't have to pay for the tracks. I'm sending these back, but what I did have to pay for was the shipping to bring those new tracks to me, and the old tracks have to go back. Now he's in Indiana, so that's costing me over $500, and that it was like $250 to bring the new ones in and $270 something to send the old ones back. I don't know why there was a price difference, whatever. So it's costing me over $500 to do this, but I don't know. I felt, I guess it was the best solution. I could have kind of jerry-rigged them and fixed them, but I don't know if they would have held up as well. I don't know. So that's what I opted to do. But it ended up being a $500 mistake. Is it my fault? Is it his fault? I don't know. But I guess my only suggestion would be, in his case, is to either have a diagram online or email somebody a picture of exactly what he means by measuring the tire. Like whatever dimensions he needs, sketch out in a diagram exactly what that means. And that way there wouldn't be any confusion. So, he worked with me the best he could. I guess it was the best situation all around for, a solution to the problem. So that's enough of that. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take these tracks off the pallet. They're still wire tied on there. And we're going to take them off, we're going to roll them out, and we're going to put them on and see if these new tracks are going to fit better than the old tracks. And if we can get them all on there, we'll take the machine for a little ride and make sure nothing's going to hit anywhere. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, well, we got them half on there. So now we're going to try and bring that side up, and they suggest in the instructions about putting a board kind of across from one tire to the other, which kind of support these while you try and get the slack out of them. So we'll set you up here, and that's what we're going to do. This would definitely be easier with two people. With these tracks, what he told me was you don't really want much slack or droop in them. Like a normal set of skid steer tire tracks normally have a little bit of droop in them. The steel ones anyway, not rubber ones. But these, he said, you want them fairly tight. So we obviously have some slack over there, and we have slack back there. So I'm not sure how much we're going to have to take out of here. Okay, so what I've done, I cheated and grabbed a ratchet strap. I had one from a different set of tracks. It doesn't have a hook on the end. And I put that in the middle. Well, I did each side. And I pulled a bunch of the slack out because it was taking forever trying to turn these stupid little nuts. They're getting caught on everything. And it would be a lot faster if you had a ratcheting wrench that kind of hooked on there. So that's what I used to pull a bunch of the slack out. And then I put in the two little tensioners that they gave you to use to try and get most of the slack out. So there's still slack down over here that has to come out. But what needs to happen now is I think we're actually going to cut this guy out. And we'll cut this chain here, this link on both sides, remove this, and then we're going to connect this end with this end over here. All right, quick update. I got the link or bar cut out, and I took my board out because I was worried about it getting wedged in there, not being able to get it back out. I started getting these connectors on. We still have a little bit to go yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to tighten these nuts down. One kind of annoying thing is the nuts on that one are the same, but from this side to this side, this is a bigger nut. So the inside diameter is the same, but the outside diameter is different. So I've just been tightening these two, pulling the slack, because I didn't feel like getting a different wrench to do that. That was kind of annoying. So far this whole process has been a little bit time consuming. I've probably been from the moment I started shooting the video, showing you guys the magazine where I bought them and everything, I'm well over an hour and a half at this right now, and I haven't touched the track yet on the other side. It's still sitting there. So I'll come back to you when I get this track attached. Whew, I did it. All right. So you can see there is a little droop in there, but you know, there's a little bit of slack in the front, just a tiny bit, but the back is, I mean, I can't even move that. So we got our connectors on here. I mean, if I had to, I could cut one of these links out and there's another connector to pull it tighter or something, but I don't want them too tight. I'm worried, you know, like if I've had tracks before, so you know, if you're out there and a rock gets caught under the track and goes around, like you want a little bit of tension there, I would think, so that if a rock gets pinned under there, it'll work its way out. If it's too tight, it seems like it would just break something. So I'm going to go with that for now. They seem to be pretty good. It does seem like we have a good amount of room on the inside here where they're not going to rub. We'll see about that. I mean, I know they can flex and whatnot, so hopefully I don't have to buy the spacers. So, but right now it looks like there's, like I said, there's a good amount of room here There's a couple of bolts there, but I still have a decent amount of room. So, I mean, the track could walk over 1/2 inch on the inside, but I still have 2 inches there. So I think it's going to be all right. But for some reason, that track seems like it's sagging crooked. Like the outside. Must just be the way it's sitting on there. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about these tracks yet. So, but there's one track on. I will say though, so far, other than all the time it's taken, the other thing that I would trying to fix my hat. The other thing that I would be cautious of, and I think, you know, these cotter pins seem like they get caught on a branch or something. You might break one off pretty easy, or a rock. So I think it would pay for me to keep some spare pins, the pin that goes across, and cotter pins in the machine, obviously, as well as these guys here and probably that strap. That's what it looks like. Like I said, they're kind of a pain so far to get on there and to get them fit, but now what I'm going to do, and I won't film any of it because you kind of saw a little bit of what I did. This side I haven't done anything with yet, but what I'm going to do now is I'll cut the extra link off while it's still on the ground, get it all measured out where it's supposed to be, then I'll flop it up over and tighten everything down. So this side should go a little faster just because I already know what I need to do and where we need to end up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this side on, and I'll come back to you. It'll be a second for you, but it'll probably be 45 minutes for me. So I'll see you when I get back. Okay, so I just about got this track on. I got the little connectors put on here, but I just wanted to show you something. And again, I'm not trying to nitpick, but if somebody buys a set of these, I kind of want you to be aware of all the issues that can come up. You know, there's basically like a bolt welded on down here, and it pops down in there, and you put a nut on, and that's what holds it on there. So you got to watch these threads on the bolt can get stripped on here. Like here's an example on this one. If you can see down in there, the weld from welding this cross piece on, the way everything fits in there, so they get tight, and then, like, I have the nut off, there it goes, and it comes out. So it would almost be better if this was more of a grade 8 material and a slightly smaller diameter, and then you could kind of shove the thing anywhere, but it won't fit in there. It won't fit in there, so you're very limited as to where you can try and jam these things. And I really think over time, using them over and over, that the threads are going to get so destroyed that you're not going to be able to put the nuts on the bottom, and that's what kind of helps hold it in there from, you know, flying out when it gets the tension on it. So we're just about ready for a test drive. I'm going to take that one off, that tensioner tightener off, and clean up some of my crap, and then we're going to go for a test drive. Okay, so there was our test drive, test run. We pushed a little of the wood chips. We have a local guy that brings us wood chips. He's a tree service, and then we use those wood chips around the property for mulching and various things. But let's take a look here and see. I don't at this point see any scratches back there where the track rubbed on the machine. I mean, I did take it a little bit easy on them, just of course because I've never used them before. But yeah, I don't see anything at this point that shows that I would possibly need the spacer. So yeah, it definitely handles a little different with the tracks being tight versus some loose ones. You can kind of tell inside the machine a little that, you know, it's just a little bit different. So, but there, the new tracks are on. Mystery product revealed. Actually, the second mystery product revealed, because the first ones are actually, I don't know if you can see, they are over under the carport, right about there. They're packaged up, ready to go back. I'm not sure when the truck's coming to pick those up. So there's the ones that are too big. But yeah, I mean, there are some things. It took quite a few hours to get these on. I think we spent about 3 hours trying to trim them and lay them out. And I mean, I was making a video, so that takes a little extra time. I mean, not a lot. I just kind of put the camera on and I edit it down later. So a couple extra minutes there, but it smells in here a little bit. It was doing a regen cycle when we were pushing the wood chips down there, so it kind of stinks a little bit right now. It did finish its cycle before I put it away here. So but yeah, that's the tracks. We'll see how they hold up in the long run. Like I said, I'm not going to be using them all the time, but hopefully in the future it gets a little easier to take them on and off. Maybe I can come up with some kind of time savers, because even that other track that I put on the other side after, I mean, that still took me, even after I cut the link out when it was on the floor, it still took me 35 minutes to get the track on, get the tension all out of it. And you know, I showed you a couple of the issues here and there. So there they are, they're on. They'll be in future videos. There'll be some updates on how they're doing and whatnot. So if you have any questions about the products or the video, leave them down in the comments. And also this morning, I'd like to say one other quick thing. This morning, I missed the live stream, One Lonely Farmer did, but I rewatched it and I saw that he hit 100,000 subscribers today. So just a quick congratulations to him. I know he's been at it a long time. Some people like him, some people don't. I happen to watch most of his stuff. You know, I feel like I learned something, and of course there's some entertainment side to it too. So Wes, congratulations to you on that. I know it's a lot of work. I have a small channel and only a few videos compared to the thousands that you probably have out there, but I know what goes into doing videos and how much editing and time and whatnot goes into it. So I know you put a lot of time in it too. So congratulations to you. If anybody doesn't happen to watch One Lonely Farmer, go check out his channel. For you guys that do watch but maybe didn't know that yet, send some congratulations his way. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button for me, please. Give us a thumbs up if you would too. Trying to grow the channel a little bit. So again, comments, questions, leave them down below, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching.